Former Marvel movie golden boy Joss Whedon is directing Batgirl?
What?
Oh my gosh. So actually, there's a lot of questions I have for you, Jim. But the first one is, why would Joss Whedon do this?
Okay, so Joss Whedon for years wanted to do a Wonder Woman movie. He wrote a script, it was in development at Warner Brothers. It didn't happen, obviously. He also has long said that he would love to do a Batman movie. So Batgirl kind of gives him the best of both worlds. He gets to do his superheroine movie that he always wanted to do. He's great with strong female characters. And he gets to play in the world of Batman. So a Batgirl movie for him basically kills two birds with one stone.
Yeah, so he obviously is really good writing and directing confident female actors in those types of franchises. We've seen Buffy, Black Widow as a standout in the Avengers movies. So that definitely makes sense. Batgirl tracks, and he's always wanted to do a DC property.
Right.
But so why would Warner's want him? They just saw how good he did on Avengers, and they're like, hey, now that you proved yourself over there, would you mind coming over here?
I think, look, Warner Brothers has always been a filmmaker-friendly, filmmaker-driven studio. You know, they go for that. That's their visionary, since they don't really have a Feige running the show in the DCEU. But Warner Brothers, in general, as a studio, has always been about trying to bring filmmakers into their family and keeping them there. For another reason, though, none of the DCEU movies have broken $1 billion. Okay, I'm not saying Batgirl is going to break $1 billion, but Joss Whedon has directed $2 billion superhero movies, the two Avengers films. So saying from the director of Avengers, you know, 1 and 2, in front of Batgirl certainly gives it a much more fighting chance at a huge box office kind of bragging rights.
That sounds really weird to market something like that from this Marvel guy. Here's a DC movie.
This thing.
But it's all the same. It's all superhero movies, really.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So DC, you know, Warner's, they've yet to have just a clear hit that's on the commercial, critical side that's made everybody happy and filled their coffers with lots of money.
The movies made money, but they didn't. They also cost a lot, and they haven't really had. You know, having that $1 billion thing, and again, I'm not saying Batgirl will do that, but once you get Joss into your family, and all goes well with Batgirl, hopefully, who knows what'll be the next thing that they might have him do for them DC-wise.
Yeah, and it's also the BVS and Suicide Squad weren't critically, or you know, fans. Not all fans love them. Not all critics love them. It's very divisive movies as far as were they good or were they bad. I think also, you know, WB, DC, they really just want a clear, just fan-pleasing, just win on their tally. We don't know if Wonder Woman, Justice League will give us that, but they're like Joss Whedon doing Batgirl, a character who a lot of people are just automatically. You just hear it and you're like, yes, that makes a total sense. Like they just want that on their record, so that makes total sense.
It does create a sense of goodwill and sort of positive buzz and something to look forward to there that they could use.
Yeah. So I was thinking about what EW posted, which was that the movie will be inspired by the New 52 version, Gail Simone's run on Batgirl, which is all about her. She used to be Oracle, paralyzed in the chair from when the Joker shot her from the Killing Joke, but she's back in the costume, she's been rehabilitated, and she is a crime fighter once more, and she's dealing with sort of getting back into the flow of things. But she's actually dealing with PTSD from the Joker's attack. Like a guy pulls a gun on her, and she just freezes. Normally she, you know, like karate chop it out of his hand or something, right? But she just freezes because she's the thought of a gun being pointed at her again and perhaps being paralyzed again is still in her psyche. So it's really kind of a heavy story for Joss Whedon to tackle, if this rumor is true. By the way, yeah, everything we're saying is couched in rumor. These are reports that we haven't gotten. Nothing is official, but we're just having fun.
I mean, it is from Entertainment Weekly, which is a reputable outlet. I would be surprised if for this character's big screen debut in the DCEU that they would do a story that dark. I really don't think. They might poach some elements from that, but I don't see them going there and doing such a heavy, such a dark story. And yes, Jared Leto's Joker killed Robin. You know, there's a way I guess you could kind of marry
Yeah, what if Batgirl was there too? Like he killed Robin and paralyzed Batgirl.
Yeah.
And that's the story we have.
I just don't know if that timing-wise that would work, because that would mean then we're talking about a Batgirl who is probably closer to 30 at that point.
Cool. I mean, I say that we get Sarah Michelle Gellar to be Batgirl.
I just think in terms of like a 4-quadrant movie, meaning something that appeals to a broad audience, I don't know if that kind of subject matter is what they would go for, especially coming after, you know, the heaviness of things like BVS and what they dealt with there and stuff. I think they'll dial it back a little bit if they do anything with it.
I think if they want to do a lighter Batgirl, then they would do the run that came after Gail Simone's New 52 run, which is the Batgirl of Burnside, which is much lighter. It doesn't deal with as heavy topics. It's still like a very Batgirl, and but they move her out of Gotham into this other place called Burnside, and it's sort of like a hipster neighborhood, and she's dealing with these much more colorful, a little more silly villains.
So she lives in Los Feliz.
Yeah, essentially. Okay. So essentially, but they did say New 52, and they did say Gail Simone's, which is like a more heavy, traumatic, darker run. And I think if you are going to do a Bat property like Batgirl or Nightwing or something in that universe, then you do have to lean. It has to be a little more dark and heavy. And we know whether they do a lighter or darker version, our favorite character is going to die because it's Joss Whedon.
Well, I also think too, like for Joss doing a movie like this, it does get him kind of back out there again and gets him the ability to then get something that's maybe a bit more of a passion project of his made, like for, he did, was it Much Ado About Nothing in between the Avengers movies. So, it doesn't hurt for him to kind of get back in the game again. And again, like he's got a long history of doing strong female characters, and, maybe after Wonder Woman, we'll have to see how it does commercially and everything. But it'd be great for the DCEU to have another prominent female hero up there too, and not just have it be just Wonder Woman all the time too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and just one more thing before we go. I think this is a great opportunity to sort of open up, the Batman universe. If Batman himself, while his movie is sort of, we don't really know what's going on there yet. I think she can introduce Nightwing. He's getting his own movie. They can have like a team up later. They can do Birds of Prey.
I mean, maybe Batman will even show up in the movie.
Yeah,
too.
I could totally see that.
Maybe they're doing this too to help kind of set up, or maybe it's part of that Gotham City Sirens movie. Who knows? We'll see.
Yes. So those are our thoughts on Joss Whedon reportedly directing the Batgirl movie. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and for more on all this Bat stuff, keep it here on IGN.